Hey folks, welcome. My name is Jeff Cockrell. I'm a Dale Carnegie Master Trainer, Certified High Performance Coach, founder of Veteran Academy, where we help veterans break the code on success in the civilian world and then equip them for that mission. I'm also founder of Coaching Mastery Community, where we help coaches increase their impact by building coaching mastery and business mastery within a supportive community. And welcome to day 14 of our challenge. I got a call yesterday from a friend of mine, and he was saying, hey, look, what's up with you? How come you only did 8 days? And I said, what do you mean? I've been doing this is obviously yesterday, 13 days straight, every single day. I've posted on one of Dale Carnegie's principles. And now some of them I did Facebook Live, some I've done LinkedIn Live. But I realized I didn't want to do 4 different videos a day because I post them on Rumble, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. And I realized that, okay, the easiest way for me to do it, I shoot it on my phone, cut off the beginning and end where I'm fiddling with stuff, and then upload it. But for some reason, it's not being consistent in how it gets out, and that's probably on me. So here's the thing I am doing also. I'm collecting all of them. I'll put them into a course, a product, something you can have for free. So if you want to click on the link, I'll have it for you tomorrow. Click on the link, then you'll be able to access all the videos I've done before and all the ones that are still to come at no cost. And then you'll just have one place to go. And by the way, thank you very much for engaging and using these videos to serve others, letting other folks know about it. I'm seeing a lot of engagement on some of the polling. So thank you very much for that. And I really wanted to talk about this principle because this is the one that is most fraught with misinterpretation. In fact, I remember I was on the phone, I called Jim and I said, man, I've been trying to get a hold of you. And he said, how could you do this to me? How could you knife me in the back? I was like, man, this Jim Perdomo was really my first mentor in the Dale Carnegie world and one of the best guys I've ever worked with. He taught me a lot, usually in spite of my best efforts. And my franchise owner had been working hard to get me away from him and to send me off to a different, it felt like send me off to a different city so I could get more sales training. Now, the guy I was going to get training from was not nearly as good a salesperson as Jim was. Not nearly, not even in the same league. But I obviously needed his special brand. And I'd been able to fend this off for months. But my franchise owner had taken this principle and used it in such a way that he backed me into a corner. And I still felt manipulated, though. That's what was interesting. I never bought in. But he used the principle number 14, get the other person saying yes, yes, immediately. And this is the one that I believe is so often misused. I mean, how many times have we gotten a call from a telemarketer and they something like, hey, listen, good to talk to you, and boy, it's really hot there in Texas, isn't it? Yeah, it really is. And I hear that you guys have another week of 3-digit days. Is that right? Yes, it is. Hey, you want to buy my stuff? I mean, that's almost how people do it. If I can get yes momentum, then I can persuade people to do anything that I want. That's not what this principle is about. And that's the difference between using it as a principle and using it as a technique. As a technique, we can basically work somebody into a corner where they're like, I don't really want to do this, but I can't get out of it. Or we can use it as a principle where we're really seeking those areas in which we can agree. Because often, if we're looking for cooperation from somebody, typically there are areas that we already agree on. The point is they have to be legitimate points of agreement, and ultimately it has to be something that we know is going to benefit that individual. And that person in the end is like, yep, it did benefit me. In my case, it did not benefit me at all. All it did was destroy the relationship that I had with my first mentor. And so this is like I said, this principle, get the other person saying yes, yes immediately, is the one that's easiest to use as a technique and one of the hardest to use as a principle. And that's why I have 3 specific challenges for you today. Pick one. Challenge number 1, and I'm going to look at if we're going to be selling a concept or a product, before we go into that interaction, really be thinking about how this is going to help them. And what are those points where we can really come together? I know one of the things you're really looking for is to improve the level of customer service. I know that you really want to increase your employee retention, right? Yeah, because ultimately that drives down costs. Yes, it does, without a doubt. And I understand how important it is. And as a small business owner, costs are absolutely critical. And then, that gives us, we can then begin leading into our product or service. Now, it doesn't have to be just selling for a commission. I mean, how many times as leaders or managers have we been in a situation where we're trying to sell something to one of our subordinates or to a group of our subordinates? And we have to get them saying yes, yes, immediately. And there's a lot of different ways to do that. I know one of the ones that when I took over a division in the Navy that was really struggling, I got everyone together and said, okay, here's kind of our responsibility. We all in agreement at that? And they were like, yep. I said, so how do we do this? What do you think are the best ideas? And so we got these, all these ideas, and I did not say no to any of them. And then I said, well, what do you think the best ones are? And they were like, well, I think this, this, this. So if we were able to do these, do you think we'd be able to accomplish what we're trying to do? And I went, yeah, I think so. And I said, are you guys willing to do this? And they said, sure. So all right, let's make this happen then. Now that was all, it was all their stuff. I mean, there's a whole bunch of other principles that go into that, but it was really about getting them saying yes, and we're in agreement. So if we're selling a product or concept for a commission or not, what are the points of agreement we can find? Second one is, if we find ourselves in an argument, stop. And just take a step back and say, and think to ourselves, all right, there's some point of agreement here. It's almost never where we are. It's always a level or two above. Most of the time it's the purpose. And sometimes we have to remind ourselves and our opponent about, okay, so our purpose here is to take good care of the planet, right? Yeah. We want to make sure that we are good stewards of the resources that we have, right? So now that kind of resets everybody that we're actually trying to accomplish the same thing. Sometimes our methods are different. And the third option, if we are going to be going into a meeting and then if we know what it is and we're leading it and we're trying to move forward an agenda, seek out the points of agreement. Where can we legitimately agree? If we're not leading the meeting, if we're just in it, go in there thinking about, all right, I'm looking for points of agreement. I'm looking for those intersections that we have so that we can move forward. And highlight those, get agreement, and then I think you'll find it easier to begin moving people in the direction that you want to go. So ultimately, it really is about finding those things that people can legitimately say yes to and feel good about saying yes. And then when it's done, not only have we helped gain more willing cooperation, we actually had a chance to knock them alive.